What's up, YouTube?
Alright guys, welcome to the first episode of the Brandon Talks podcast. I got my co-host with me, Fat Yan, aka Yanni, aka Papa Love, and I got Sean here with me, aka Sean's dad. Today we're going to talk to you Today we're going to talk to you guys about some music, specifically a band called Kublai Khan, Kubla, however you want to call it. I don't know, how do you guys say it?
Kubla.
No,
I just say Khan now.
So,
It's funny, I had to ask Yanni how to say that because I was like, I'm going to
It's Kublai Khan.
it's Kublai Khan, so you don't like pronounce it Kublai.
like the Kubler elves.
No, I know everything.
Kubler
Yes,
elves.
so.
What? Alright, so when you guys first hear the name and band Kublai Khan, what do you instantly think of? Like, what's the first thing that pops in your head?
Like Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan?
I mean,
Isn't there like a mythical like
yes,
super guy that's
name
like Khan?
name Kublai Khan. There's a
Oh, is he
I-
really? Oh,
I was
didn't-
reading something on that today that there's actually like a dude that was like 19 or 1812 or some shit like that. His name was actually like Kublai Khan, and it was like a brother or some ancient figure to Genghis
Is
Khan.
that how they got the name then?
That's where they
Yeah.
actually originated from for the band.
It's the Mongolians.
Yeah.
The Mongolians?
Yeah.
It's always
In fact,
Mongolians.
In Mongolia, there is a giant statue of Genghis Khan, which is pretty cool.
I can like put that up in the middle of our screen. It's just like a statue.
Do it.
now. Just like...
Yeah.
But so what? I don't even know where to go from this. This is my first time doing this shit. It's like losing
Yeah, I
virginity
mean-
all over again.
Yeah.
Is that why your face is all red?
Yeah. When did the album actually come out?
So the album actually came out September 9th of 2017. So we're about 4 months late onto this party. But I have been addicted to this album. Ant Pile, which is the first song that kicks off the album, it's an instrumental, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
so sick because it's just like, no, okay, we're gonna play this typical heavy breakdown, and then they just come in with these pitch harmonics and squeals, and it's just like, oh fuck, like,
Yeah, that kind of surprised me too a little bit.
and like
I
the
wasn't
way
expecting
they
that.
did it, like it surprised the hell out of me because I'm terrible with fucking words in English, but the way they
Yeah.
did it, it's just it flowed. Ooh, it flowed. It flowed together really well.
Flued.
Yeah, it flewed, whatever.
It flew together.
But it flew together really well. It was very fluid.
Yeah, it flued well.
So if you go back to,
I really don't like their older albums.
you don't like them. Do you know how many albums they have?
I mean, I just listened to the ones that are on Spotify, and I really didn't like them.
So they have 3 full lengths now. I gotta pull up my notes. I took notes.
I didn't. I was going to. But...
So in 2014 they released Balancing Survival and Happiness off of Artery. 2015 they released New Strength off of Artery, and then in 2017 with Rise Records they recorded and released Nomad. And 2017,
it's the best sounding one.
I just said 2010, I think, but 2010 they released an EP on their own.
Mhm.
It's called Youth War. All right, I mean it's a 2010 EP. That
Oh yeah, it's like it's exactly that genre in
Yeah.
2000.
I mean it's 2010 metalcore, but
It's everything that like because we had like Those Who Fear around here, and it's like exactly them. Like it's
Rest in peace.
yeah. Bye guys.
What was
I don't even think-
We're getting kicked off YouTube now.
Episode 1, you guys are canceled.
Yeah. That's.
Yanni, do you have
Yeah.
words?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, as far as Kublai Khan goes, every album's heavy, gets heavier, and then with their newest one, along with the heavy sound, they got it to sound good, production wise.
Oh yeah, production wise,
So,
it's amazing. It's
yeah.
probably the best in that genre I've heard in a while. They did a really good job.
I was kind of surprised, and I mean, as far as like favorite songs go, The Hammer, probably. I mean, I know it's their single and they got a video for it, but
That was the first time I actually ever listened to them. Was
it's a
the
good
Hammer?
single.
The Hammer.
Yeah. I thought it was solid. I mean, it's a solid album for sure. They did good on it. So.
Yeah. It's crazy how much more popular that music is getting now. All of a sudden, like it kind of died off for a couple years, and now it's like coming back up.
Yeah, because we used to have bands like Those Who Fear, and then like you started to see bands like Traitors kind of like come up in the mix and whatnot, and then Traitors broke up, and then now they're back again and they're releasing new albums. But I mean, you got bands like Traitors,
2x4.
2x4.
Yeah, I love.
I mean, the bands that kind of made it through the point, which they're kind of not quite in that genre, is like the Acacia Strain, and like bands like that, and like in Europe, they're kind of in that same genre, but they're not.
This is the first time I've seen Sean since he knocked his tooth. I just realized.
Shut up.
I'm like, why is Sean?
I can't help it, dude.
But no, you got.
I wanted to be like the Devil Wears Prada guy.
Yeah,
I just got finished taking it out.
That's pretty much Mike.
Dude, don't even get me started on their newest album. It's terrible.
I don't know if I've heard their newest one.
Oh, they were.
I like that album actually.
Daughter's
dope.
Album, man. But anyways, Kublai Khan. What's your favorite song, Sean, off of it? You guys both like Hammer?
The Hammer is kind of a given because that was their single. It's just really good. But from when I listened to it, I'd have to say probably 8 Years was really good, and my second favorite would probably be Riverwalker, just because it's weird.
Yeah.
Like it's completely out of the ordinary for that whole album. So I would say those two.
So, have you listened to the lyrics of 8 Years?
I haven't actually. I just what I could pay attention to when I was at work.
This was something I like really wanted to point out. Point out. I'm gonna pull up my phone, and it's really like terrible streamer etiquette. But
terrible.
8 years ago, before my phone dies.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a bitch.
So it says 8 years ago, life took from me. 8 years ago, life took from me. Just under 16, you were ripped away from me. Watching my family weep for my brother's life, tragedy had come for me. Wearing a fake face for other people's sake, you never left me. Your spirit dwells within me. While apathy rots in his seat, don't you fucking look at me. In the courtroom, you ask for my forgiveness. Family left with nothing but flowers and memories. Your sympathy means nothing to me. No apology will heal my family. No forgiveness. Ultimately, it ends in the song saying, Thomas Thorne, this is for you. Thomas Thorne, no forgiveness. 8 years to the day. And it also, in the middle over there, says 8 years inside for murder, motherfucker. That's when it gets like super fucking intense in the middle of the song. But like if you actually like do some research on the song, 8 years ago, their bassist, I can't remember his name off the top of my head now, and I feel like a piece of shit. But he was murdered by Thomas Thorne in like a vehicle homicide. Whenever they were like 16 and whatnot. So I mean if you think about it, 2009, so probably when they were just starting the band or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, that was like, and you got to think if you're like playing in a band with someone that long. I mean, 8 years ago, if that happened, that dude's probably just. Bye, Felicia. Dude's probably just now getting out of prison, and I mean that's got to be like an impact on them. So if you like listen to that, that's like probably not like. It's probably the most emotional connection you can get with this band, because every other song, to me, when you listen to it, they're just pissed off. Like, they're just pissed off people. And there's nothing else, like, to explain, like, how to explain that. Like, they literally make mean-sounding music for mean people to kill each other at a show. Like, personally, I can't lift my legs very high because of my pants being too tight, but I would totally spin kick someone for 8 years. If I could. I mean, it's just like one of those things where it's like, all right, but
you have joggers on?
I do. Fight me. It's my day
I'm gonna
off.
be totally honest with you.
I don't have to wear what you're wearing clothes from.
Yeah, I buy my clothes from Rural King. That's what I do. I do, but I mean, in all honesty, I don't think I could ever really understand what they're actually saying.
It's pretty hard. There's certain spots I heard him say 8 years in there, but
there's breaks where I'm like, oh shit, I know he said something there, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was cool. what he said, but I don't have any connection with the rest of the song, to be honest.
I mean, that whole kind of music's hard. I mean, even like with like Those Who Fear, I mean, I couldn't understand half the time when he was screaming. It's just that low scream's really hard to determine.
Was he
words.
screaming or was he breathing into the mic half the time?
Yeah, I love it. Those guys are amazing. I love all those guys. I miss them a ton, actually.
Those Who Fear is incredible. Absolutely incredible. They were a band that came out of our scene that was just like...
I mean, a lot of the people...
Dude, they were band.
If they've heard of Kublai Khan, they've probably heard of Those She Wrote. I mean, Those She Wrote. Yeah, Those She Wrote. Those Who Fear. Because, I mean, they got pretty big there for a minute, and then they just were like, nope, we're done.
Shout out to Those She Wrote. Solid old band.
Cameron.
I was on a big
Cameron,
Those She Wrote, like, kick this week. So.
For anybody that doesn't know, the guitar player for Beartooth used to be a guitar player for our local band around here called Those She Wrote.
See, I never thought I would know someone that's in a big band like that.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard of that stuff. It's like, it's actually real. That's cool.
It was like, it's like, Cameron was a cool guy, and then like we didn't see him for years, and then all of a sudden he's jumping off stages in like insanely large crowds with Beartooth.
And he was with Hit the Lights for a minute, wasn't he, too?
No, City Lights.
City Lights, that's right.
Hit the Lights is a local band out of Columbus.
I'm sorry. All these names are so crazy. I can't remember.
They all have the lights. But
I mean, no one's as good as Send the Night Sky, right?
Right. Redemption fails.
TRF.
Fuck you.
TRF.
I'm so glad that's nowhere on the internet.
You know what it is, though? From Within.
From Within.
I'm gonna have to put links to all.
Dude, you have. I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna find every band you put online, and I'm gonna make a compilation of it for you. Cause you have so many on there.
Hey man, chasing the dream was real.
You gotta chase it, bro.
Cause guess who's still playing music? Us.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break into bands that like you're looking forward to hearing. Like maybe not local talk yet. Like I don't know if you guys looked into upcoming local band, but what's like an album coming out that you're looking forward to? I know we talked about some stuff before. Before we like actually started into this, but what are some bands that you're like excited about, or even some albums that just recently came out that you're excited about? Yo, you're doing a podcast now. That's lit. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? Welcome in, Fearless.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, one thing that I was looking forward to, they just announced it like last week, but August Burns Red today, was their like 10-year anniversary for their Messengers album that came out in like 2008 or 9 or 7, 10 years ago from now, so do the math yourself. But they remastered the whole album and like re-released it, and it's freaking amazing. Like everything hits hard, and if you like were a fan.
Do you know who did the remix of it, like remastered it and stuff?
I don't have a clue. I'm assuming whoever does all their new albums.
New stuff.
Yeah, but it's solid. It's sick because if you listen to Composure, it's just really flat almost at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
But then you hit it. Okay. I'm back into this
that's
again.
Awesome. So, I wonder if they like remastered like the amps and stuff too.
I think
their tone has changed dramatically from then.
There's a pretty significant difference in sound for sure. So definitely check that out. That's one of the cool things.
I'll definitely I gotta drive like 30 minutes later to an hour, so I'll definitely be checking that out now. Probably as soon as we get off of here. What about you, Sean?
Well, I've been looking forward to the Impending Doom's new album for like the past 2 years since they announced it. I actually just recently watched.
Chat. I'll get to you guys in a minute. I don't want to keep cutting these guys off, but what's going on? Welcome in to the podcast.
What's up?
Say hello to these guys. I believe they're still looking at the chat down below, so they can kind of interact too if they look at it. No, he's on Facebook. But anyway, welcome guys.
I don't have service, so.
Anyways, continue, Sean. Impending Doom. I'm sorry.
They played September, I think. They played one of their live, which was pretty cool. I listened to that, so it made me really excited for the new album. There's really not.
I would too, to be honest.
Yeah.
They're talking about Sean.
Really? I don't know. What's the right? What's considered the right?
I think he's talking about the right on your screen, not mine. If he's talking about right in general, that's me, and that's weird as shit.
Well, I don't have it. Technically, that would be Yanni then.
But looking at it, you're on the
Do you have it flipped
yeah,
on yours?
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah, he's got that baby face.
Wolfheart,
I'd smash it too.
she said that she would, though.
Oh,
Anyways.
gosh. Anyway.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'm done with that now, but, like, the only new album I'm kind of looking forward to coming out right now, which isn't even metal, it's the Foo Fighters' new album. It's going to be coming out. I'm excited for that. It'll be down.
Yeah, dude.
Other than that, there
Foo
really
Fighters
isn't
is
anything else I really listen to. I'm kind of a dad now. I have like 4 bands I listen to, and that's like it.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I hit 20, and it was just like, I was listening to like straight metal, and then like a little bit of pop punk, and now I'm just like country.
It's because you got a truck.
I've been like on this huge, obviously Kublai Khan kick, but then I've also been like super into just going back and listening to like old volumes, Fit for a King, and then honestly I've been listening to a lot of like YouTube rappers. Like I don't know if you guys know David Dobrik, but like his group of friends, he's like one of the old Vine guys. His group of friends, there's like 4 of them that like release music, and there's one guy in particular, his name's Scotty Sire, who puts out music, and it's hilarious. He just makes songs about being sad, and like all these other.
He's a sad boy.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, but like not exactly. It's not like your fucking $USAID boy $.
Dude, don't be hating on suicide.
No, alright, so I gotta tell you, I gave them a chance in my car on Apple Music the other day, and I'm like, I can't believe I actually knocked these guys, the Yanni and Sean last
They're
time.
so good.
Yeah,
I was pretty impressed. I'm like, alright, and then I know Fearless just said Post Malone's album. I actually haven't listened to
Post album's gonna be sick. I listened to that song he
yeah.
posted on Facebook. It was dope.
I can't wait.
I've been listening to a lot of like different music. I just haven't been just listening to metal. And then like 2 albums, and I know we touched on this earlier, 2 albums that I'm like really stoked on is Traders, which comes out on the 2nd question mark, and then The Plot and You, they come out on the 16th, I believe. So
yeah, their new stuff's pretty good. The stuff they've been releasing.
Yeah, and you know
it's different.
And you know it's all coming from Brandon. You are quiet as fuck. Okay.
Oh, you sound good though,
I mean, to you, I probably do, but that's because you guys are coming out of here, I think. But everyone is quiet. All right, turned everybody up. You know if that's better.
Are you sure your computer's not quiet?
Yeah. Anyways, are you guys not trolling? But no, I'm really excited about The Plot and You more so than Traders. Traders to me is like they're playing down the street, and I'm gonna go listen to them because it's gonna be my first show in a while, and like. It's beat down, it's heavy. I know the drummer Steven and then their vocalist Tyler. Like the dudes are really cool, but like I don't know if I could sit here and listen to their album like over and over and over.
Right.
It just becomes like this thing where in the end, all you hear is his grumble screaming, and then Steven just beats the shit out of his cymbals as slow as possible. I love Traders. Love Traders, but like after a while, their music just gets dull. That's why The Plot and You.
I think that's with all that kind of music. It's like great to listen to the album a couple times through and maybe put a couple songs on like a playlist and have it come up. But that music's more for like a show. Like you want them to play so you can beat the shit out of each other. That's just what you want.
There's definitely more of a live connection there than there is for an album connection.
You know, and it's always heavy and like. You know, just hit you in the chest. It's just what you want when you're at a show.
You have to listen to Sleep Disorder by them, though, because it literally sounds like fucking Patrick Starr at the beginning of the song.
My gosh.
But The Plot and You, their new stuff, like Feel Nothing, and their recent single that they put out a video for, it was really good. But, like, it reminds me so much of the new Asking Alexandria album. Like,
I'm not a huge fan of that either. I tried it. It's weird.
Their first song, Alone in a Room, that is the only song that I enjoy. It's Danny Worsnop's new style of music, like his evolved voice, for a lack of better words.
Right.
It's like his evolved voice, mixed with like the old like growl screaming, asking Alexandria, like just
See,
kinda, like,
I don't know.
hardcore.
I'm kind of stuck when I come to those bands, even like of Mice and Men, Asking Alexandria, and like even Attack. When I first heard them, I was so young that like their first albums, that's what resonates with me, and the new stuff is kind of just like I don't like it. I want old stuff again because that's what I remember them being. I went back and listened to Asking Alexandria's first CD and was like, oh yeah, I forgot how good this was. But really, in context, it's not that great. It was really mediocre.
Yeah.
It was good for the time, but it's actually super mediocre.
Compared to the bands that are coming out nowadays, it's like I respect that these bands like Asking Alexandria and Of Mice and Men are still trying. I mean, hell, Of Mice and Men, since you touched on them, don't put L4D2 in my chat. Like, Of Mice and Men, you lose, in my opinion, probably one of the best frontmen that will ever be in a band. Like, personally, I love Austin Carlisle.
Oh, I'm right there with you, man.
Like, Austin Carlisle to me is one of the best frontmen, and I know you disagree, not just because you're shaking.
Why don't you like him?
Because they suck.
So you're judging him on his bands, and
I heard he's a shitty person.
So he used to be a shitty person.
If you listen to the plot in
you don't get into more fame and get less shitty.
Have you watched the interview he did with that Ryan guy?
Yes.
I just watched that the other day. You should watch that.
Off the album Would You Watch Your Children Burn, there is literally a song about Landon talking about how Austin... We're like getting way off track of what the original subject was, but like I'm okay with that. Like we're just talking, and this is like how I got to like know you guys growing up, anyways, with music. So this is kind of cool. But even though you guys hated me, but
it was a love hate.
Whatever.
Still hate you.
But I don't know. Like Landon talks about how Austin's a piece of shit person and. He fucked over this chick and left her for dead. And, like, you don't know how much of it's real, but, I mean, Landon literally writes everything of how, like, his life is, and he, like, actually interacts with, like, what's going on around him and whatnot, which is, like, really cool. But at the same time, you gotta wonder, like, some of these bands will talk about how their fucking girlfriend left them, and realistically, they've been, like, married to the same bitch for, like, 16 years.
Well, I mean, it's even like the Emir and the Case Strain little thing that went on. How much of that really was freaking true? I mean, we don't know them. They could have just did that to get their name out there. I mean, there's that big beef going on between him and... I know. Just don't pay attention to him.
I'm done looking at the chat. You guys can read the chat. No, like, and then touching on ourselves now, did you listen to any, like, local bands? Or any, like, newer bands coming into this podcast?
I mean, the biggest local band I listen to really around here is Bride Shore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really... Around here, unfortunately, there's not many local bands anymore.
Yeah, the scene's pretty much has totally died around here as far as music goes.
It seems like...
I mean, there's The Stray.
Yeah, they got The Stray, too, yeah, but even then, like, they are getting ready to record an album on my Eve.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. But they're touring right now. I mean, they don't come around here, most of the bands. Yeah. They leave...
Yeah, The Stray is like a group of dudes that literally started the band just to reach out to kids as like for like that deal with depression and like suicidal and stuff like that. So like they're definitely someone to keep an ear on and support when they come to your area for sure. And they mostly go to they go into schools and stuff too, like and do stuff through schools with motivational speaking and whatnot. So that's always pretty cool. But
you said Bride Shore.
Mm-hmm.
We pretty much grew up with the guys in Bride Shore.
I mean, actually, Bride Shore, I mean, there's people that fill in for the instruments, but Bride Shore is just Kyle and Jordan.
Okay.
Kyle Spinell and Jordan Boyd.
Okay.
It's basically just them, but they have, like, Shiloh and Krebs and, what's the...
Nick Miller.
Nick Miller come in and just do the support stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, they might be in the band now, but last to them, it was Kyle and Jordan were just the.
And like you said, you grew up with them, but I totally I used to work, I used to be like a counselor for middle schoolers, and they were definitely in my class.
Oh yeah.
I'm just old. I'm old. Yeah.
And then,
But yeah, they're.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I wasn't gonna say anything. Go
No,
ahead.
talk about Bride Shore. Bride Shore is amazing, and I'm gonna link them down below too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
just go listen to them, give them a shout out, let them know we sent you or something. I don't know. They should be starting to do more stuff soon. They have a whole album out right now. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Definitely solid.
Band I wanted to like recognize, and I know we talked about this, and I posted it on Facebook. If you guys are watching this and you don't like follow my Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever, make sure you guys are following because I'm going. I know I talk with my hands a lot more now. Make sure you guys are. Make sure you guys are following all that because I'll ask typically for like bands that want to be bands that want to be like recognized like on this podcast. If we're going to talk about music, I'll recognize you guys on here. But today's band for me is going to be Degrader, Liam McGeary, however you want to call him by. I've been watching the dude for a while, but they're heavy. They on their album they have a feature from Ryan from Fit for a King. And it's an EP. It's like 5-6 songs. I can't remember what it's called. I think it starts with a G, and I can't pronounce it. It's like GAIA or something like that. I don't know how you would pronounce that, but it's a really good EP, and it's something you guys should check out. Whether you're like scrolling through Spotify or Apple Music.
I mean,
or whatever.
I watched their video. I went after you posted them. I went and listened to the video they have up on their Facebook. They're really good. I mean, their shows seem brutal as hell, but it wasn't. I kind of figured it was going to be that heavy just from the band we were going to talk about. I kind of figured you were going to kind of keep with that genre, but it's really good for being a local band like that. They're very clean and very good at what they do for sure.
I didn't get a chance to check them out yet. I'm not gonna lie.
Sounds about right for you though.
Yeah.
What? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like you mentioned a guest spot from Ryan on that album, and it reminded me of like another album that came out today. That was Sleeping Giant's new album, and even though it's like it sounds like every other Sleeping Giant album
they've released.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you're looking like if you like Sleeping Giant, you're gonna love this album. If you were hoping for something new, you're not getting it. But they had a killer set of like guest vocals.
Dude, they had Garrett Russell from Silent Planet on.
Really?
They had Garrett Russell, Matty Montgomery,
Wow.
Bruce LePage, Ryan Clark, and Brooke from Impending Doom.
Holy crap.
Yeah, 5 guests, sweet guest
That's
vocals.
crazy. That's like, probably like as much as the album cost alone just to get them to come in.
Yeah, I probably did it for free, honestly. Those guys been, I mean, Sleeping Giants like pioneers to like freaking Christian metal. Like,
That's
they're definitely
point,
like,
yeah.
I'm Christian hardcore, metalcore, whatever you want to call it, but like, they definitely like preachcore. Yeah.
That's what they call themselves. That's literally their first song.
I mean, the dude's literally a pastor. Like, they're all on like the worship team at their church or something like that. But they're like, it's a solid Sleeping Giant album, but it's a Sleeping Giant album.
I mean, the problem with like that kind of metal, it's really hard to go anywhere because I mean, once you leave it, you kind of keep going and stay because or you're gonna sound the same all the way through. It's hard to do new anymore. Yeah.
Well, see, like the only thing I don't like, I wish they would do is like every time they start with a sweet freaking breakdown, and it goes from a sweet breakdown to like a really fast and then the same breakdown, and then it goes to another fast part, and then the stay down, and then they do like some weird singing thing that Tommy does that is what Tommy does, but like it's just the same. It's just every song is repetitive in a sense with the same breakdown, and that's just kind of where I am with that. But I mean, it's a good album if you like Sleeping Giant. So
see, it's kind of hard though to kind of knock them for doing the same thing because you know us the same people. If they decide to do something new, we'd be like, we want the old stuff, you know. But we also complain when they do the same thing.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
I know. I'm the same way with
August
August Burns Red. I'm like, I want the same August Burns Red.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like I kind of do like their like weird little instrumental stuff they do now. But yeah, so.
It's cool how they incorporate it. It's different.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't have enough talent to incorporate that in.
I know, yeah.
Shut the hell up.
I really wouldn't though. How they mix like polka music with metal? How do you do
Yeah,
that?
that's impressive. Freaking any of the dudes in August Rush Red, like I've met like a ton of my favorite like bands, and like just from playing music back in the day, like being on the road and like being able to like hang out with these bands, and then like I just never cared. Like they're just people to me. But then like I went and saw August Rush Red for the first time, and like I think it was like 2015. It was whenever their I don't remember which album came out, but I went and saw him, and like I walked in and I was like, I want to sit, I want to talk to Matt Griner because Matt Griner is my favorite drummer, love him. And I walked in and like this dude like he's there, and I'm with my buddy Nick, and like we walk in and like all I do is like, can I get a picture? Like I couldn't even like have a conversation with the guy. I was so like, I love you guys so much. You guys are like everything I love about music, and I fangirled hard, like way harder than I've ever fangirled about anything ever before. So, yeah.
So
if you don't know me, I'm a diehard August Rush Red fan.
now you guys know for the next episode. Before we like close out, what is one thing that music has like? What is the coolest thing music did for you or has done for you? Whether it be, I don't know, travel. What's your favorite album you've done, or what have you done that's like impacted you most with music? Like, what has music inclined you to be able to like accomplish in life?
That's a tough one because music's been a huge part of my life. Like, it, like
Everything is like in your life's been involved
Yeah.
with it, so it's kind of hard to pick one.
I guess like when I was like younger, I always got picked on, was made fun of, and just was real closed in. I was like diagnosed with ADD when I was young, so they had me on Adderall, and so I was just like sat in a corner, didn't talk to anybody, kind of a kid. And then like and then like and then like in like 10th or 11th grade, they like I just stopped taking my medication, and so it kind of like forced me to kind of like go out and like make friends, and the friends I made ended up like liking metal, and I like metal, and so it like pushed me into playing music and like growing with those guys, and then being able to like make new friends where I met like Take the Name dudes, and was able to go out on the road with them and like hang with them for like 2 years or whatever I was in the band with. And I don't know, it was just like it was a big like growing experience for me. It definitely helped me grow into the person I am today, and just create the experiences that I would never have had before. For sure, I would have probably just sat in my room and played video games forever, which I do now, yeah. But at least got a dog now, so.
True. You have a dog. How's she doing?
Yeah,
She's cute.
she's great. She's great. I'm trying to like I'm starting to build stuff, so I want to build her a kennel this week.
You're actually gonna do that?
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Same question for you. What's the coolest thing music has done for you? Or same question. What's the coolest thing you've done with music too?
Let's see. I mean, it's a hard thing. I've always been around music. My father has been playing music since he was 16. I know there's a running joke between these guys that I look just like my dad, which I do.
He
But
does.
I didn't realize.
I mean, I've been around it. I
on
mean,
the podcast.
Yeah.
I can get him to come one day. I'm sure he would.
Yeah. Oh wait 1 second. Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does your dad do art too?
Yeah, he's a painter. He went to high for art. He has a bachelor in fine arts, and he has a major in something with high school students. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but yeah, he went
I
to
saw
college
like a
for
post on Facebook today, and it was like art by Paul Reynolds, and I was like,
Yeah,
whoa, wait,
yeah,
what?
his
He
favorite
does art,
thing
too.
is to do charcoal or graphite,
Yeah.
like pencil. That's his favorite thing, but he does paintings and stuff, which is pretty cool. That's way off topic.
Yeah,
It's alright.
it is, but it's cool.
But anyway, I grew up with my dad, who played guitar, and I've always just been around it, so it's kind of hard to pick out. Like, I wasn't quite like Yanni, where it wasn't around, and then I found it. It's just always been there for me.
Right.
But I mean, without music, I didn't hang out with people very often. I mean, I was always moving around and stuff, but music already had always been there for me. It's kind of a support system, like it is for most people. But I'd say the coolest thing I've done with music, there's a venue here. Some people may have heard of it from out of state, but it's called Peabody's. I don't know. Are they still even open anymore?
They knocked it down.
I didn't think so. Anyway, a lot of bands I used to listen to played there. It was like a huge venue, and my band got to play there with Inhale Exhale, and we actually got to be opener for Inhale Exhale at the time, which was really cool because I got to play main stage, and we weren't supposed to. And it was so that was a really cool experience. I never got to play a stage bigger than that yet, but
I got a lot of fun facts about everything you just said. Actually,
we'll get to that then.
Yeah.
But I mean, the coolest thing that's helping me get to, me and Yanni here have started a studio for recording and whatnot, and so we're hoping to make a career of that, or at least just me. I mean, I definitely want him involved. I mean, you got a bunch of other shit in the works, so
yeah, I got all kinds of crazy stuff happening in my life right now.
That's the biggest. I think that's the coolest thing that's happened to me through music is the fact that I've been able to finally start a studio and record. Because if I can't play music, I want to help other people get to do their music. Put a good quality thing out. But that probably sums it up for me. I think I could probably go on for hours, but what about you, Brandon?
Greatest thing he's ever done in music was get to meet.
I don't know. No, growing up, like I never really like did anything with music until I was like 11, 12, which I feel is like the perfect age to like really mold because you're like in middle school, kind of
Definitely
playing in a friend's garage, playing at your local like teen center, just letting the old guy lets you come practice there, and you'll have like the other like middle schoolers come watch you. But like I don't know, same thing like with Yanni, like you guys know, I was like made fun of constantly. No one liked me. I always dealt with depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I started like
you make me feel bad for picking on you.
It wasn't like until probably like Yanni said, probably like sophomore year, where like music is all I wanted to do. When I was at school, like I'm drawing things related to music. I'm like thinking of like these bands and like these tours that I would love to go on, or these bands I'd want to see, and like my dream gear setup. What do I actually want to play in a band? Like all this stuff, and that's when I started taking it more seriously in the 500 different bands that I've been in terms of like Call to Conquer, From Within, just local stupid bands like that, that like really got me to know the people I did. And playing in Facing Failure, which was my last like local band, I guess, like not really, other than I Resist, you know what I mean? But like my last band that like played a show, like,
fuck us, right?
That's what I'm getting at. Locally, I Resist, but
yeah.
With Facing Failure, I met Failure, but I met the guys in Contentions.
Yeah.
And that's when I got to, kind of see a different side of like the scene. I actually got to meet different people in terms of, I guess, relevance to the scene. I got to meet and talk with like, potential labels, and I actually got to tour, which you guys know that, but
yeah, I was gonna say that's something I never got to do.
We don't have people, or we have like people in here now, but they don't know that I've got to tour with Contentions. Yanni, I know, has toured with Pick the Name. My goal is still to get you to tour at some point in your life, even
someday. We'll get there.
But
it's the greatest thing ever.
It is. It's a lot of fun, and there's nothing like being in a van crammed. And this sounds really weird, but there's nothing like being in a van crammed with like you and 5 other dudes, just like driving to this place you've never been to, or like a place you have been to but you never got to experience it. I went to sleep in Georgia, in Atlanta, and woke up on the beach in Jacksonville. Like that's one of the coolest like experiences. Like overnight, it's just like boom, you're in Florida. You don't get to take a shower or eat anything, but you're on the beach. But in terms of coolest thing I've ever done besides that, which I don't know, I feel like I'm very lucky and very blessed for the things I've gotten to do with music, and I'm going to continue to do, is I got to play in front of a couple thousand people playing for Issues. Same thing with you. I mean, you got to go to Peabody's and play with Inhale Exhale, this or the
I mean, the place was sold out, so it was pretty cool.
We sold out Park Street Saloon in Columbus with Issues, and a couple other local bands, and then Atlas Aria, which is a local band out of Chicago. And that's probably the coolest thing I've ever done. There's the Legacy music video that came out of that. And like, you can just see how many people there were. That was like, it was just like an eye-opening experience of like what it feels like to be up here. And then like after that, it's just kind of like, move to Maryland. What?
Yeah.
That's not for everybody. But you know what I mean? It's like, you feel like you're up on this high, and then it's like back to reality. And like, I guess the moral of the story for me is like, music can take you from this like real negative, taking Adderall and feeling like you're the only person in the world that like gives two shits about anything, and then everyone else just kind of like is like, "Hey, fuck you," and then music can take you away from that and make you feel kind of complete.
Yeah, music's definitely a family for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got the dicks in the scene that kind of, but you don't stick around those people, you know. Yanni's a different kind of dick.
Yeah.
He's the dick that loves you. He's like, come here, I'll get you.
I'll do anything for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick on it. But yeah, definitely like music. Like music's such an influential thing because it's like I'd be walking down the street and see a dude with like a freaking like Lamb of God shirt on. I'd be like, dude, yeah, you like metal.
Yeah.
Like, even though I don't listen to Lamb of God, but it's like I have a connection with him because I know he likes music. He has a thing for music.
I don't like him, but Lamb of God's good. I mean, great band. They made millions of dollars.
Yeah. I mean, I like Redneck. That was my favorite song. But still, I mean, I listen to it a little bit. But anyways, music's good.
Music's great. Anyway, you want to talk about Inhale Exhale? That was a thing when I was talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was talking about the show.
First metal show I ever went to was at Peabody's, and it was Scream the Prayer 2000 and something, and Sleeping Giant and Impending Doom and For Today were all on a ticket.
Damn.
And yeah, I was like, it was the first show I ever went to, and I was like, I went with my buddy Kale and his band at the time, and went up there, and like, I'm just this innocent, like, at the time I was like 150 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm
used to be a small
guy. I'm 250 pounds now, but like, I was like the small little guy and like just super innocent, and like I like went there and like Impending Doom came out, and like Brooke was just like, I want everybody to stomp Satan's head in, and then they hit freaking like Nailed Dead Risen was like first songs they played, and I was just like this huge dude just like shoved Kale had a broken leg, shoved Kale through like this freaking wall, and I was just like, I'm out, and ran to the back. I was right up for like right inside the pit, and I was just like, nope. Not my thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then with Inhale Exhale, their drummer is a good friend of mine, so screw them.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He's a good friend of yours, that's it. Tony's not going to watch this whole thing anyways.
Nah, he's one of my best friends. I'll give him that. And he'll kill me if I didn't say that, so.
He's probably going to kill you anyway. That's
yeah,
what
he
does.
I deal with him for 8 hours a day, so.
You guys got anything else? Anything you guys want to... like maybe look forward to on the podcast that you would want to talk to next time? What's an album you want to talk about or a band you want to talk about, Yanni? We'll talk about your band next. I already know who it is.
Yeah, it's Neck Deep.
Alright, so...
Yeah, I'm actually going to see them on the 10th up in Cleveland, so I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, I'll be dope.
I'll be getting my face punched in at Traders on the 21st. So.
Nice.
John?
Nice.
Anything?
Not off the top of my head, really. I wasn't ready for that question. He knew he was coming up next.
So, alright. What? Go.
No.
No? Nothing?
No.
I mean, if we're talking about something that I wish would happen, I really wish that This Wildlife would put out a new album, because they're amazing. And if you haven't listened to them, check them out, because they're really
Wildlife, come out with a new album. Yanni wants it.
Yep.
John, any bands you want to hear a new album from other than Impending Doom?
I mean, I wish For Today would get back together. That's never gonna happen.
I wish, but
I mean, they like half of them started another band, and then that band disappeared too.
Yeah.
So it's like, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Really.
All right. So next podcast we'll talk about Neck Deep and some other related things. Maybe me and Yanni can break into some nerd and talk about Call of Duty and PUBG. John can just look at us. But
I'm okay with that.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys for my voice. Just
That's that 12-year-old.
Thank you guys for tuning into the first episode of Brandon Talks, Music Talks, whatever you want to call this. I don't know what we're going to title this part of my channel yet. But first podcast, thank you guys, chat, for tuning in, for whoever is still in here with us. If you guys are watching for YouTube, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on Twitch, you guys can always follow and come watch whenever I do podcasts or regular streams. I got a green screen now, so I'm really excited for that. I'm probably going to stream it a little bit tonight. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Shout outs to Yanni and Sean for coming in. We're going to try to do this every 2 weeks, so we'll hopefully see you guys in 2 weeks. Neck deep, don't die. See you guys.